Hello, or shall I say, howdy. I've watched so many westerns that I've been transported into the Wild West. If you don't know what I'm on about, I've recently done a little thing called the Great Western Binge-Watch of 2026. This is where I watch a western every day until I inevitably forget or run out of westerns. But given there's a lot of westerns in the world, that's very unlikely. But anyway, it's not bad being a halberd in the Wild West. I bought a hat. I bought a poncho. I bought the most American thing ever. A gun! I've even gone as far as to replace my pipe with a cigar. Just like Clint Eastwood. I'm Halvard's Edge, and I recently watched a western every day until I didn't. Now, I haven't told you much about where I am, or should I say, when I am. The year is 1862, during the height of the American Civil.
Hey, wait for me, I've got my dog.
The American Civil War. Jesus Christ! Okay, I fled to a nearby town for safety. There's no Confederate nor Yankee guns on this street. It certainly isn't a gun street. Gun Street was a 1961 mystery/western about a sheriff and his mate trying to find an escaped convict who is hell-bent on revenge. It's only an hour long. It, like Jaws, feels like much longer. The only difference is Jaws is actually good. It's also about sharks. And they're also completely different films. The point is that Gun Street sucks. The majority of the film is the sheriff going house to house and asking around, which is quite interesting. The characters have intriguing dynamics, and it makes you look forward for what's next. You wonder until the film realises it needs to end, so it makes the most anticlimactic climax to have ever climaxed, where they all go out, have a sleep, some guy shoots his gun, then he's the sheriff. End of story. That is genuinely what happens. I swear I'm not exaggerating this. Aside from an organised fist fight earlier on in the film, there is little to no combat throughout the entire thing, which in my opinion is one of the most important parts of a western. I'd rate it a 4.6 out of 10, but hey, let's see how realistic it is. The guy became a sheriff from shooting a gun, so let's see what happens if I do that. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh god, no. So it turns out you can't become a sheriff from shooting a gun. In fact, you become the opposite, a convict. You're especially a convict if you shot Tiny Timmy, who's the heart and soul of the community. Not naming names. The issue is, despite the fact I definitely didn't shoot Tiny Tommy, who is the heart and soul of the community, and who also definitely just didn't change names, I'm still going to be hung. So I need to get out of prison. Hey, guard? It seems like God is the old man from 1883, and since there is no subtitles here, I can't communicate. Well, not in English, but I know a language we all speak. Money. Sadly, I only have $20, but for a few dollars more, I can get out. But I have a plan. If you subscribe, I might be able to get enough money to bribe this guy. Do this because, for a few dollars more, I can get out. For a Few Dollars More was a 1965 film about two bounty hunters, Lee Van Cleef and Clint Eastwood, with the same objective but different motivations. They want to kill the psychotic Mexican outlaw Indio before him and his gang rob a bank. This film is great. The dynamic between Clint Eastwood and Lee Van Cleef is really interesting. Clint Eastwood is younger and tries to outwit Lee Van Cleef at every turn so he can take on the bounty of Indio and his gang. But Lee Van Cleef is older and wiser. He knows every trick in the book, so he thwarts Clint Eastwood's plans every time. It also gives a really interesting antagonist. Indio begins as a cold-hearted, unstoppable crime lord. As the film progresses, he becomes less powerful, and eventually you realise that he is just some guy. Anyway, it's a great action-packed film with a twist that genuinely made me gasp, not to mention the outstanding score by Ennio Morricone. Go watch it, it's great. Okay, so while I watched that, I managed to get a fistful of dollars. Well, I got the DVD. Yeah. Hey, guard! Okay, so he was a bit mad that I gave him a DVD and not an actual fistful of dollars, but hey-ho. I managed to escape and am now hiding around the corner of the prison. Anyway, Fistful of Dollars was the first and worst film in the Dollars trilogy. It's about Clint Eastwood going into a town and fighting some gangs. Other than the cool badassery Clint Eastwood pulls off, I'm not entirely sure what happens. It's all just a bit weird and confusing. Like, there's a bit where he positions two corpses to look like they're guarding a grave and then this gang is like, oh, we can't rob that grave, those guys will kill us. When there are literally more of you than there are of them, and it looks like those guys are asleep. Anyway, the whole film just fell quite short for a few dollars more, but that's to be expected from the first film of the trilogy. Crikey, can you hear that? I can hear the crowd trying to find me. And what's that they're chanting? I bet that extremely handsome Halford is a member of the devious gang that hung Clint Eastwood wrongly in the next film. Let's hang him and his gang high. Hang him high, 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 hang him high. Hang 'em High is a film about a lawman turned cowboy turned lawman who is also Clint Eastwood. As a cowboy, Clint Eastwood is wrongfully hung by a gang which I'm not in. Then some guy sets Clint Eastwood free, and then he becomes a marshal and takes revenge on his convictors. I think that's a word. It's fun, but seeing without a poncho felt like a breakup, and being my first breakup, I don't want to experience it again. It's your typical spaghetti western with just a few more lore elements. Fun, but nothing special. Guys, I've stolen a horse and I'm currently evading capture. Imagine a really high budget chase scene because I can't animate and I'm not using AI because I don't like AI. And yeah. Damn, what a cool high budget chase that was. But now I'm a man on the run. Yeah? Yeah? All the 1960s YouTube watchers getting excited? That Beatles reference? I don't like the Beatles. Yeah. Christ. Being alone, it sends you insane, you know. That's what they don't tell you about being alone. Christ, out here alone, nothing but a gun to my name, and also I'm 13, which is young, unless it's compared to a 7-year-old, in which the 7-year-old is young, but I'm 13, which is young. You could say I'm a young gun. And I wish I had a gang. They could be young guns, too. Anyway, Young Guns was a 1980s, surprisingly historically accurate film about Billy the Kid and the Lincoln County War. It details the goings-on of the gang and their relationships with one another, as well as being quite an amusing watch. That being said, by all means, it is no insult to the man of Billy the Kid. It is, as far as I'm aware, a respectable piece of media that's also funny, historically accurate, and entertaining. Take notes, Ridley Scott! The soundtrack is awesome and the story is even better. Some of the kills are just amazing, and there is a really funny bit where a guy gets Skyrim married. But of course, I mean, he has one conversation with a woman, then marries her. Now I hear you screaming into your screens, but Halbert's Edge, Billy the Kid killed like 5 people. I bet it's not that historically accurate since you're talking about kills. So that's why I say rude. I never said anything about kills and how many kills he did. Also, you are wrong. He killed 9 people. Also, it is explained that he's framed for the murders, the majority of the murders this is gang committed. Overall, it's a great film, and I have a video about Billy the Kid coming up soon, so you should watch that in preparation for that. Oh, would you look at that? In the time it's taken for me to tell you about Young Guns 1, a Confederate army has stationed their camp here. Maybe I should enlist and change my name to avoid the law. Hello? Pardon? Can you take me to your general? Yeah, same here. Sadly, guys, I don't think we can enlist. Wait, what? The General? The General was a 1930 silent picture about a guy whose engine is stolen by Union spies and he wants to catch it. Methods he uses to catch said engine include riding a penny farthing, riding one of those train cars that Cortez uses in Times for his Future Perfect, and firing a mortar. I don't often find slapstick funny, but this film is a slight exception. I chuckled at times, and the guy was just kind of a really unlucky guy, and I began to sympathise with him after a while. It's really just a fun time, and a great film for a younger audience, I think. The one question is, it was made not too long after the Civil War, so how come the Union are the bad guys? I thought you'd be shocked for saying something like that. You know, was it common to make pro-Confederate media after the Civil War? Tell me in the comments, Americans. Yeah. Anyway. Oh. I'm a time traveler. I forgot I was a time traveller. And I'm not meant to give away future of it. Oh, damn. Doctor Who should have prepared me for this. Oh, they aren't happy. They aren't happy. So they got kinda mad. But luckily, like Billy the Kid, I escaped death clutches. And I'm still young, with nothing but a gun to my name. Young, hopeful, full of spirits, but I'm also bleeding out fast and I need medical attention, like now. Or at least I have my horse. Anyway, all this talk about guns and young people has made me think about how sad it is that teens are getting into gangs now. Often these gangs are like drugs, and a drug guy was Pablo Escobar, and his mugshot reminded me of another's. Jose Chavez Y. Chavez, otherwise known as Chavez. And he was Mexican Indian, and who lived in New Mexico, and also briefly Indiana, and also Antrim and Kansas. I think Antrim might be in Kansas. I don't know. The answer's Billy the Kid, and he was a young gun. But either way, his gang were young guns too. Young Guns 2 is the sequel to Young Guns 1. While less historically accurate, it is way more fun, exciting, and all in all, just better. It follows the aftermath of the Lincoln County War and Pat Garrett's chase of Billy the Kid. And don't let me trick you when I tell you it's less historically accurate. It still does feature several historical scenes. There are a few films I genuinely get invested in, right? And even fewer that make me cry. I mean, Young Guns 2 didn't make me cry, but it made me emotional. Not to spoil anything, but there was one character, right, who I completely saw myself in. And he was basically me, and he died. I just felt just really sad, and I started shouting at my live performers. In the UK, we don't have TV. We just have stages where people act out the films for us. It's great to play charades on. Anyway, there's this other character who I believe survived, and I kind of came to the sad realization that he just wanted to do something, and all he really did was help Chavez a few times. Anyway, it's a Western with Bon Jovi music in it. What's not to love? But I came away with one clear message. Billy the Kid only steals horses from people he likes. And with that, I should be off, riding off into the distance, and you gotta be Well, the only town is fairly close. The only issue is that they want me dead. I guess I have to go. Bad to read. Percy Jackson. Hey, you. You escaped from my prison, and don't ask why I've got a New York accent. I can't do many American accents. Well, completely naturally, I've decided to challenge you for a duel. For now, it's high noon. Wait, did you say high noon? Well, high noon is about... High noon is about a sheriff preparing to save his town from a criminal. While the score is good, the whole thing feels like a build-up, but with a lackluster climax. The shootout is good, but with the build-up I was expecting more. And also I feel that he should have had some, like allies. But I may just be making things up. The character worked well, though. I can't do that voice anymore. The characters work really well, though, and I really like the character of his wife, and it's not because she's hot. I swear she's not attractive, and I'm saying that just because I know that'll be thrown out there. Like, she is attractive, but I don't find her attractive. Atten's hotter. Anyway, if you want a slow burner and a dysfunctional relationship, this film is for you. Anyway, back to my old voice, my getting shot voice and bleeding out. What's this? I've been saved by a wandering caravan. This is awfully convenient. Hello, sir. You took quite a nasty shot. Luckily, you're made of wood and metal, so we managed to fix you right up. Can I talk to your wagon master? Why? Because I want revenge. On the sheriff or the guy who turned you into wood and metal? Who? The narrator? Yeah. Suddenly, a giant foot stomped down and killed the guy. That is why you don't mess with the narrator. Anyway, Wagon Master is a film I paid no attention to because I've tried revising while watching and ended up just revising. So, does anyone want to know how to make an electromagnet? Electromagnets haven't been invented yet. I keep getting messed up by this time travel thing. The docs would not be proud. Hey, turn that caravan around. Why? Do it. No, seriously, if I turn the caravan around, then I'll be to that doing in 5 minutes. What? Where did that come from? 5 minutes? Okay, it takes 5 minutes just to get the horses going. 5 minutes or I'll shoot. Damn, I hate it when my personality changes drastically from scene to scene for so-called comedy, and then it results in me being kicked off the caravan. Anyway, I want revenge on that guy who shot me, but I don't have a gun. But it's okay, though. I'm literally a piece of medieval weaponry. God. So here you are, back for round 2. Wait, what? Clint Eastwood?
Hello, I am Clint Eastwood and I just saved your life.
But you shot the sheriff.
No, haven't you learned? Just shooting your gun randomly works unless you shoot little Timmy.
How do you...
I can see the mushed up corpse on the floor. It looks like jam.
Wait, how did you just shoot him?
Let's just say I'm a deadly shooter. Now I'm gonna eat the jam. Yum.
Deadly Shooter was a 90s film about a guy who saved a prostitute, and then the prostitute saves him, and then they fall in love, and then they take a revenge on some evil guys. It's very much a love letter to the Sergio Leone spaghetti westerns, and the main character is essentially Clint Eastwood, just like, not. It's incredibly interesting, and there's a few funny scenes. Much like Hang 'em High, it's a generic western, but this is more of a farewell to the genre. After all, these were the 90s, westerns were basically dead, and it's definitely going to be rewatched by me, as it is great and sentimental at times. Anyway, back to my life in the West. I don't know what to do. I don't know where I'm going. Only God knows where I've been. Sorry. If we do musical numbers, we need to start at the beginning. Alright. You prepared for this musical number about me in a Western? Alright. 3, 2, wait, what's happening? Whoa! It's all a dream! What great storytelling!